Hello, this is Brendan, and welcome to another drawing session. It's a watch along and not necessarily a tutorial. And I just set up the canvas 1400 by 900, which is good enough for me. And what we're going to do today is more advanced head perspectives. Last time I did rather simple head perspectives. I'll even whip up one of those right now, just for fun, with a different angle than last time. Last time I had kind of a very sharp angle. Why not do one of these, and we can say like this and that. Now the vanishing point, this comes up in argument all the time about perspective. Vanishing point for this would be like way off over here. And some people, they claim that you can have a vanishing point for just about anything. I disagree for obvious reasons, because it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you just have to eyeball it, and that's really all there is to it. I can do this and that. Okay, so that's kind of a crazy box with that vanishing point off the screen there. I think it's good enough. This one could have went down a little bit, but we're not gonna fuss. And I just want to erase some of these lines here. Doesn't have to be perfect, because this is just a guideline. So this, oh no wait, I need that line and that line. What I don't need is this line. I can see I'm going to need one more line over there. Don't need this or that. Okay. So these are unneeded lines. That's the official terminology. So I'll just do one of these real quick. These videos usually last about 40 minutes, or that's the plan, because I don't really enjoy the short videos. I think they're not entertaining. They're not entertaining. I mean, there's some really good short videos out there, and I know some people complain that some videos are too long for your lunch break. Well, if you're just doing a watch along of drawing for your lunch break, then maybe this video is not for you. That's all I can say about that. So let's go and just say real quickly here. Let's imagine this was the front of the head on this side of the box, drawing human heads. If I wasn't clear about that, I didn't mean for you to think I was doing like dog heads or cat heads. These are going to be human heads. So let's say that was the front. Here's a box, or it's like a rectangular box, I guess. And if it was from a side view, here's a question: should the forehead come here and let the nose pop out past the box? Yes, it should. That's what it should do. It'll come back a little for the brow where the eyes meet right here on the side view. The nose will pop out over the box as it does here. I did let that come out a little bit. Lips come out, chin, this and that. The eyes, as we did in the last video, and if you didn't watch that one, just go to my playlist and you should see it there. The chin, the jaw, and the chin comes down, and all this stuff. So if this were a box, as it is, 3D box, you can see from a side view you'd have a profile like that. Not very clear. I did it very sketchy, but here's his forehead, here's his eyes, his nose comes out like that. His lips are in the totally wrong place, but anyway, there's his chin, and here's his ear back there. And yeah, I noticed last time I was looking at this on YouTube, I was too far away. Let me zoom in a little bit. Note to self: zoom in. So you can see on this side of the box we have a front view of the head, and on that side the side view. It's very rough. No need to waste time. This is again only to prove a point. This is not a real, like this isn't what I would do when I'm trying to draw a picture. So with those guidelines in place, we'll go ahead and draw a head, just to prove the point that perspective is needed. Now between the side view and here, if it meets there, that's where his forehead should be. But actually, forehead is kind of curved and everything, and we don't want to lose completely our vanishing point, which was over here, something like that. Yeah, right about there. Yeah, somewhere around there, close enough. So if his eyes come back a little, they should come back a little over here. The nose starts here, have it come back a little. And with the vanishing point going that way, this eye will be bigger than this one. This one will be small, about that big. This one about that big. Of course, we need space for the nose to come in. Eyebrows. And again, we're still just on a sketch phase. This is not supposed to look good or anything. Come down here, here's a chin. Maybe bring it up a little. Yeah. And the ear. His ear is, since he's on an angle, it should actually be up here a little. That's another good thing about doing sketch after sketch. You always notice the mistakes in your last sketch. And so let's go back to, let's just call this a sketch. And we'll totally get rid of that and see how that turned out. See that? Just that quickly, and we have a nice, very rough three-dimensional form of a face, which is much better than, I don't know, something like this, right? That the old-fashioned cartoon style. We already have, you know, something that's a little bit more lifelike. Why he looks like a baby, I don't know. Let's put that perspective back on. So this line should go down this way, so his hairline should go there. We're going to leave room for a temple around here. We're going to need, oh, his ears are way too big, that's why it looks like a baby, along with some other features. And at this point, I'm going to ignore that perspective box and just try and make some sense out of this. I think the head should come up just a little bit further, maybe. It looks like a baby head. Ears. This. If he was wearing glasses, his ears would come right there. That's right. Yeah. Looks a little better. And also another reason it looks a little babyish because he has kind of a fat face going on. So these cheeks and stuff. Something to do to get rid of that is to make some more chiseled bone and what do you call it? Bone and muscle tissue. Also define the more mature features such as the eyebrows and eyelashes and stuff. Now it's looking a little more human, a little more manly. I'm just scratching stuff in there. I might be, this is really just how I like to draw, but I might be a little bit more cautious as I could be drawing on paper because I'm used to it. I'm a little new to these tablets, and so I just do this kind of thing. Scratch around. I guess I'll eventually get used to it, but as of now, the feeling is that I just can't see where I'm drawing at, so I just kind of you know, just fill that in there. And just keep in mind, this is going to be a temple here. If we go over here, it would also go back around the other side of his head. So this is like, just like we had with a perspective here, you can draw a line. Here's the frontal face, and there's the side, you know, profile kind of area there. And that all came out very quickly. Just the reason I want to make this higher too is because he's got hair. So I go up a couple. I have my keyboard set, so every time I tap the page up key, the brush goes up, what do you call it, 5 pixels. So I can go up real quick to this big, or down real quick to that, and that works for both the brush and the eraser, which is kind of convenient. That's the hotkey setting. This software I'm using is the GIMP. I have nothing against software such as Photoshop or Manga Studio, aside from the fact that they're very expensive. And I don't need to spend that money when I have this. If I'm doing something more professional, then I will, you know, I'll find a computer that has that and get the job done, or just do what I have to do. I think they have free trials. Maybe you can tell me how that works. I don't know. I did download a free trial once. Okay, and as I did last time, you can just fill this in real quick. I'm just going to finish this one real quickly. Where's that eraser? And this one has a slightly different angle. Like previously I was doing a very sharp angle where you're mostly just seeing this eye, and that one just a tad bit. Do some gray. I'll call that a color. I just make these layers here. I have this color, shade, and light. And also, if you're new to drawing with software, this is, you know, really good to know how to use these layers. That's really what it's all about. And go back to a brush. Whoops. These should all be under the sketch at least. I'm going to do color. Color is going to be gray this time. Go like this. Just some color. I'm just getting this done as quickly as possible. Then some shade. Shade will be bring its opacity down. As I showed in the last video, it's better to have the full opacity down. Which way do we want the light be this time? I'll have it coming from the other side. So we're not going to get nitpicky or anything. His cheek should have a shape that comes up kind of like that. He probably has a neck like most people. I could have done more details on the so the light's over there. It won't be hitting here, it will be hitting there. It'll make maybe sort of an oval kind of thing. It also depends on the size of the light, how close it is to the object, which is his face this time, and a bunch of other things. And again, let me zoom in. I keep forgetting to zoom in, sorry about that. I have a cast shadow coming off his nose, as well as a little shadow in here. And why not have some under there, just for fun. Definitely should be a bit behind his lips here. He'll have a dimple in there. See what happens. Is that a mustache growing there? No. Okay, this one. Not sure if that's... Yeah, that's good. Because if this is coming over here, that should be like that. Yeah, good enough. Okay. So the light's kind of like further over on the other side of his face. Good enough. And light. I mean, it's good enough depending on what you want to do. I'm going to bring the light down a little bit too. Have some highlights in here. Have the highlights around here. And make that a little bit bigger. Definitely his eyes should be reflecting some light, because eyes are, you know, glassy or glossy, however you want to put it. And there's a lot of other things I could do here. I could go gradient from here to there with the light, but I'm just going to say I'm going to call that good enough right there, because this was not the point of what I was getting into today. Let's erase a little bit here. Maybe I don't need that there. See, and now since I have the light layer separated from the this layer, I can go ahead and erase things here and there and not have to worry about destroying the shading or anything. Don't have to redraw all these things. So there we have a very rough. So I bring this down and do a quick line drawing over that. It might actually look half decent. I'll put on a smooth stroke for that because I don't draw very well with the Wacom tablet. Down to 5. For this, I need a new layer, and just let it be called whatever it calls itself. Draw that like that. Room for the temple here. I could even choose to not draw a contour line over here, because technically that's where the light is. Might not really need it. Bring this down here. All I'm doing here is just making a contour line to make it feel a little bit more finished. If we want to get in a super detail here, technically this would be a little thicker up here and get smaller as it goes over this way. See how I can make these lines real quickly and easily with that that smooth stroke tool on. Give them some pupils. Humans like pupils. That's what they used to see. Little what should we call this? This is the eyelid itself. There's like a crease in the eyelid right there. It's kind of useful. Have a little, maybe as eyelashes or something. I don't know. I'm not big on eyelashes. Something like this. Some humans have nostrils. I happen to be one of them. So while we're going for that human look, little dimple in the nose. Sometimes, you know, these little things. Some people have perfectly straight noses. I mean, you could spend your life studying noses. Really, I'm not even going to go into it. There's all kinds of stuff you could do with a nose. I tend to put a little dimple in there. I think it's because I have one, and kind of like those. So there you have a half decent plastic-looking human. Very plastic. Reason he looks plasticky is because I went a little overboard. I'm doing this too quickly with the lighting. That should probably be yeah, a little bit more like that. Also, it's black and white, and there's too much smoothness between the fine line between this here, the shading and the background color is a little bit too much. Another thing we could do on the if the light shade is above the shade, yeah, then we can go in and have some reflective lighting, which is always nice. Actually, I'll do this on even yet another layer because the opacity for this should be very low. And what happens, is that getting bigger? No. Yeah. Wow. Way too much. Okay. What happens is if there's something on the other side of him, as there usually is, like a wall or something, it's likely to, let me just go in here. It's bothering me that I didn't do this. The 5 pixels, just very quickly. Have a dimple there, one of these, one of those, something down here. Good enough. Okay, where was I? Was I on this one? This one? Yeah, this one. And I could hit the X key to switch colors, but I didn't. I know that. I don't always use the hotkeys. So what we're saying here is some spots, and I'm not even 100% sure why, but some spots are going to reflect some light from the other side. It's usually on the back side there, and you could look that up, how to do that, on another tutorial. I'm not going into detail on it right now. Just some light reflecting like that. And don't need this one here. Oh well, looks like it's stuck there. Ah, where is that? Is that down here? Yeah, there it is. Still a little plasticky, but he has a three-dimensional look, what we're looking for. Okay, I'm just going to try this again. I had a not so good attempt with the last one. I don't know why. I thought everything was going well. We'll go make this a little bit smaller. So let's say this is a vanishing point, and we have somebody, you know, we're looking up from like nostril view. How would their face be? The middle of the head would be about here, so that's where the eyes would be. One eye's distance between each eye and the side. The nose would be about here, that would be about there. This is basically what we're looking at. And then if this box comes down, this means a chin. You know, I have a jaw. So the jaw is going to be like back here, and then there's the throat is coming up like that. In this case, when a skinny throat, and the chin comes out, and then that's what we got. So the top of the head should definitely curve back a little. Come down to the jaw like this. Okay, we'll see what happens. We're gonna have a couple of nostrils here. I don't know why I always hate drawing nostrils. And everything's got to be rounded. So like the lips are rounded, the nose is rounded, and we are pretty much looking right up their nostrils. The cheeks, you know, are going to go back. This goes back. So even now, it's starting to look like a face. And I'm trying to do a female face too, because I was doing all males last time. So the face, the cheeks come up like this, and then you have this, you know, from like your nose, there's like a crease that comes back here, and like that crease is more visible with you know, as people get older and they get wrinkles and stuff like that. So for a younger face, you can avoid too much of that crease, and for older faces, add a little more. Just do this here and that there, and then it'll come back like this. So these are kind of high cheekbones. This is not extremely symmetrical. This part will come down a little because it's the forehead and the temple, and definitely getting a bit of a flatter face here, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, flat is beautiful too. Can't go, you know, picking on the flat people, call them flathead and all that. Okay. Now I do hate drawing nostrils from this position. I don't know why. Something like that, because the nose comes down here. It's usually a tip to the nose. Something along those lines, right? It's a sketch. And if we're to do, you know, hair can come out sometimes. And so in this case, for a girl, maybe the hair would be coming down this way, going back that way, over her shoulder, or coming out, you know, to the side and stuff. Just like that. So that's a sketch. Go and try and get a little more detailed with it. Actually, you know, I'll do something different this time. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna straight in. Forget about the line drawing. Just go straight in with shading. We'll skip that the whole line drawing part. It is kind of not the most important thing anyway. Here's the lips, right? And so I'm just saying the light is like over here somewhere. I guess I could even zoom in a little more. Keep forgetting to zoom in. So if you're looking at a small frame on YouTube, okay, so that should be like that. The nose will come over and hit the cheek like that. This side will be shaded. That'll be shaded. We'll have a bump here. It's round, and wherever you can, try and get that. You know, like if you have a circle, looks like that. If you look at it from the side, looks like that. Kind of like if you're looking at a can. Right, it looks like a on the side. So you want to bring that out as much as you can when you're in this situation. So like here, I kind of go like that. It helps to help the eye. To help the eye to understand that we're looking at it, sort of a cylindrical object from a side view. Okay. And then so there's a shade over here. That's her hair is in there. So go ahead and bring it all the way down. And then this hair will be hitting the light, but on the inside going back towards her neck, it'll be blocked. Just like that. Yeah. So add a color layer. And as usual, we'll make the color gray for now. We're not getting into what you'd call the color yet. It'll be a few lessons away. That's not the color. A lighter gray, yeah. Put this over there. All the way on the bottom. Yeah. That's what I need. One thing I could do here is just erase the parts that have light. I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, and this one was the shade, I believe. Yeah, and I kind of feel like I'm done with the shade. We do a little bit more around the eye here. Eyes are round, so that'll be there. You could also bring this down a little. Brush is too big. Yeah. Lips, this and that. Okay, so now I have like a rough form. You also have this side of the hair. This side of the face might be getting covered by the hair a bit. And the ears should come down there or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. See what happens. I think the forehead should be rounder. And then we'll go in with a little line work. I'm not worrying about the names of the layers at this point. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so you definitely want to come down like this, and then maybe the hair is coming out from the side like that, kind of. This goes here, that goes there. The ears would be right here. The ears. Some humans have ears. A lot of them actually. I would say a majority of humans are ear-bearing humans. Here's back a little bit. Does that? Okay. These nostrils are weird. So in this case, I think the lips would be very, shallow, like this. The nose is probably way too big, but I'm not going to nitpick today. Eyes, again, like the can, we're going to get a very slanted side view kind of thing effect going on, because eyes are more like an oval to begin with, and then as you look at them from the side view, well, guess what's going to happen? Obviously we're going to get it's just a bit slanted. We definitely bring out more 3D here by bringing this down and this to show like the side of the face going back towards the cheek and other things there. And this go back down. So there's kind of a fat cheek going on here. This is not an easy thing to do by any means. So anyone who's sitting there criticizing me and my ability to draw nostril view faces, well, good on you, because this is it's not an easy thing to do from the imagination. Let's put it that way. If you have somebody standing in front of me and they cock their head back, okay, I mean that's a totally different thing. But doing it from the imagination, using nothing but the physical knowledge, I mean, I'm pretty much following all the rules here, but it just gets difficult. Eyes come out here, cheeks come out there. Goes back a little bit. Yeah, not too bad. If we go down to the, I don't know, where was the original sketch layer? Maybe I should name my layers. This one here, I can't see anything. Yeah. If we go down to the sketch layer here, so imagine that person is standing there. That's their neck. Right? If their neck is there, this should. So neck should come down like further. That's another thing here. Come down this way, and then that way, and then that way. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and what happens if I take that away? That's not too bad. Yeah. So get onto that shade layer. So it almost looks like she's kind of dead. I guess I drew a dead person laying down in the what do they call that? Room where they do like an autopsy. So I want the chin to feel like it's coming down and then going up. So I guess the light's over there, it would be kind of like, or maybe I should go in a little. Yeah. And then as it comes towards you, it's definitely going to shoot out like that. So it might be something like this. Yeah, yeah. A little space under there. That's kind of what I'm feeling. And then this should just, I mean, her body has to come out somewhere here and here. So it should end like that. I mean, technically, if she's a girl, I should probably see her boobs, her breasts coming up here as well. And if she were laying down, the hair would be going back further. But I think my intention was that we're standing up, and I'm not going to fall back on that. That was my intention. I'm going to stick with it. There's a little more shading there. And she does have a chin, so there could be like a chin line, right? Maybe a chin line can come down like this. And that'll help to bring that out too. Go like this. I don't know. Something along these lines. So there's that. Little lighting wouldn't hurt. I didn't do an excellent job on this. It's actually, let me just clean that up a little bit. Yeah. Just because. That's right. Yeah. Just don't want it to be so incredibly sloppy that it looks like, she has a broken face or something like this. She also doesn't need an Adam's apple. And if the light's over there, yeah, this should pop off here. This is where we can really get, some foreshortening coming in, just like that. So if you're watching my videos, you'll probably notice with all of them, like, I do a lot of stuff that just looks horrible at first, and it's just a matter of working with it to get things where they belong, using the imagination a bit and all that stuff. I want to go back into this one. So her hair should be there, so the cheek will come down. Yeah. Nothing's perfect. What can you do? Okay. And so, did I add another layer yet for this one? Yeah, that was that layer, this layer, this one. Okay. So go into the white. Just turn it up a little. We're on 100% opacity, which is fine. So the light is probably over there somewhere. Some highlights. Come out here and there. It's literally just scribbling this stuff in there, as if I cared. A careful scribbler. A little bit of this. I'm done. That's it, because we're not going into finished professional mode with this. So I'm done. That's a head from a strange angle, and it could be touched up. I can see so much more room for improvement. Maybe just real quick, something like adding a bit more depth back here. Should get darker, things like this, so we can see that's actually far away. Bring a little bit more depth into this side. There. Contour. Just get a little bit more shade. Neck could be skinnier actually. Comes up to the front. Yeah. Sometimes one shade isn't enough. Like that. It's starting to look a little more female. Yep. Female-ish. Okay. This is bothering me here. Do I really need that? That's good enough. Yeah. Okay. So up close doesn't look like much at all. So probably bring this down. But it just goes to show with very, very rough lines. And where was that? Was it this layer? Yeah. This layer actually, I have to at least make something look half decent. Smooth stroke. We'll go in real quick with this. Is that right? 5 pixels. Okay. Bring that side down there like that. You could also have a crease in the neck there. Technically, I'd say her nose is probably a little too big. Nostrils are probably a bit too big. This area here. A little bit piggy. And it wasn't very even with the eyes, which was also a problem. Sometimes I have too much of it going on in my imagination that it gets lost in the actual drawing. That can happen. Her eyes should be a little bit more symmetrical. Nose up here. All these little things. So you see, the more you play with it, the better it gets. Now it's actually starting to look like a female human, laying down, dead. Why is she dead? Maybe she got shot in the head. Well, I guess she didn't get shot in the head. I don't see any bullet wounds. Maybe she was poisoned. It's Cleopatra. I can't remember if Cleopatra committed suicide. I think there was something to do with poison, with suicide, to keep herself from getting killed. Oh yeah, she was going to get exploited around Rome or someplace, and rather than have herself exploited and, you know, disgrace her her power that she had in her lifetime, it was more honorable to commit suicide. Those were the days. Not too bad. Okay, I'll make another one real quick. I'm not sure which one of these are going to make it to the final cut. And this time we're going to go, we did under view, did this view, how about a top view? And this will be the last one with the heads. Next time we'll go into full body, because we already did too much head stuff. Control, Shift, and N will make a new layer. It's nice you have your hands on the keyboard. Do perspective. I will use perspective guides this time, because it's a little tricky. Control, Shift, and N is the actual key combination there. I know this will be sketch. And this is, I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm doing with the layers here, it's definitely a benefit. It's something you couldn't do on a piece of paper with a pencil. But it's, let me get crazy. What if a guy, I'm thinking and talking at the same time. The guy kind of like a side angle, he's over here looking at that, or I just do straight on, like from here view, from, you know, here's his nose, like we're looking above. Don't need the smooth stroke. There's his chin, his nose pops out. That's actually easier than from the bottom view, I think. But it's not really important. But I wanted to make it like more dynamic, have it like kind of from the side. So how would that work? If he's, let's see, if he's here, it'd actually be over here, like this. Yeah, something like that. And then he's there talking. Something weird like that. So to have is a box that's the top of his head going down this way and almost like that. Okay. Yeah, another one of these. See what that was. So I have a box in this layer. Box. No, I need to be here. Box going back a little bit that way and a lot this way. Oh, actually no, I want this to be over here is where I want it to be. Yeah, that was the answer to the question. And that one there. So this is a very dynamic form. We pretty much took out that whole one side there. And we got to use just eyeball it for a lot of the other stuff. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. This is good. And some of you people might not understand what I'm drawing here. Oh, wrong one. So I have to get rid of these lines. Just to, I mean, sometimes people who don't like draw a lot and do stuff like this, they look at these things and they're like, what is that? And so if I help, you know, take away these lines, now maybe you can see it's kind of like a box. This is the front face, this is the top, and I'm just going to put a guy's head. Draw somebody's head inside that box. I have another one, another layer. Get into the brush. Where's this one? 5, yeah. Okay, so the top of his head is like here, and then here's the front of his face. His eyes be in the middle, which would be here. I did make this box too long. His nose will pop out like this and kind of come up like that, and his mouth will be there. Almost covered by the nose, but not quite. And now, as you see, you know, things get smaller as they get further away. So you can see we're going to want to exaggerate that in this case. And there's his little chin up there, and then his big old forehead up here. And that goes back, and here's his brain and stuff. If you had an ear, it would be over here, about over there. That's where his eyes are. There's his hairline, the line of the hair. temple would be here, so this hair would go down a little. Eyes about yay big. Eyebrow about there. Bring out the nose a bit. Give him one of these kind of chins. You know those ones? Yeah, you know. Just like that. Okay. So, again, that was a sketch. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, hopefully on this next sketch, I get a little bit more detailed. Should help to make some sense. And this is not at all different from what I do if I'm drawing on paper. So if you're trying to learn to draw on paper and you're watching this as a guide, what you would do is just take what's it called? Or what was I? Where was I? It'd take a pencil, and you can have different gradients of pencils too. Like, make sure that when you're buying pencils for drawing that you note the hardness. You have your 2B and your 2H's, and I mean there's just a whole variety of pencils. You have the 2 and the 3 and the 4. They have numbers, surprisingly enough. And his mouth would be down here. Eyebrow up here. Okay, and so now maybe you can tell, you can start to make out. We're looking at like a side view, and I will even start to go in and make like shoulders. Like if his head was back here, it'd be his spine, and like his neck would come up around the back here, and then his shoulders would come out like that. So it's kind of like that. Nothing fancy. So now I feel as though I can probably get rid of these guidelines. And what is this? Yeah, I kind of like that stuff still. I'm going to leave it there because I like it. Just because I like it. And this one. And similar to last time, I'm going to go right in with a shade and save that other stuff for last. So I'll just do that here. Put this down. And so if you have pencils, you know, I have different types of pencils, and you can start with a lighter one. Where's the light coming from? It can come from the top, the bottom, here, there. Maybe make it from the top, like, because that means the light is like behind us, which it just discomforts me. I just enjoy the dynamic look that comes off the nose when it comes. It helps you to see, and this is probably used in Hollywood and stuff a lot. It helps to give more dynamic presence. If the light is on like one side of the face, it just helps bring out the features of the face so much better. And of course, it makes all these cast shadows and stuff. It's much more dynamic. His neck would go up there, something like that. I'm not going to be a real stickler about it this time. And so if you get those pencils, use the light one first, and you have an eraser too, which is, I mean, and you have to draw fast. I see all these people like taking their time with each pencil stroke, and I know it's argumentative. People, they all have different views on how you should or should not draw. And, I tend to disagree with just about everyone, because I can't understand if you're actually planning on, you know, doing some art at some point in your life. How can you sit there and just waste days and days? I mean, there are times when you should be slow and focus. That's definitely true. I'm not disagreeing with that. But if you've drawn a head 100 times, does your 400, you know, your 101st head have to be drawn super slow and perfect? Sometimes you have to push yourself. I mean, I don't disagree at all that you should take your time and let speed increase itself with time. You should definitely try and make things look good, because if you make 100 really fast, poor quality drawings, that doesn't help anyone. But as time goes on, you should be pushing yourself to draw faster. You should do speed drawings, and you should learn techniques that just, you know, increase your drawing speed, because it takes a long time to make a drawing. So if you incessantly draw slow and just relish in the slowness of it, oh, it's a hobby, good on you. That's fine with me. I don't care. But if you know, if you're looking to do business or something like that, you definitely want to increase your drawing speed. There's just not enough time to get everything done. Nobody wants to spend $500, you know, to wait all week for you to do a logo. That's not how it works. That's pretty much that. I mean, there's nothing all too complicated about this one. Felt like it was much easier to do the above head than it was the underneath head. Okay, I don't need that one anymore. So I do need, where's the other one? Okay, this. So turn that down a bit. Go in with some nicer line work, some details. Smooth stroke is always helpful at the bitter end. And so again, to make a point with the you know, the paper medium and stuff like that, if you're doing this in paper, it's the same thing. What I do is basically do all this stuff I'm doing now with varying weights of pressure and pencil, you know, because you can draw very softly, you can switch different, use different pencils, and then as it starts to come into shape the way that I want it to be, I'll get the pen out, draw over it on the spots that I know are where they belong, you know, draw the good stuff and don't draw the bad stuff. And then I'll take the eraser out and just erase, pretty much erase everything. There are times when I'll leave the pencil in there for like shading effect, if it's just, you know, for fun drawing. But there's a lot of times where I plan on scanning the final drawing, and so I just want to get the pencil marks 100% out of there. This is, I mean, I don't feel like I have anything else to do here. I guess you could show his eyelashes coming out. And this, I actually liked a lot of that. It was adding texture and some form to it. So what I can do is take some of it out. Whoops. This one. Yeah, take out this stuff I don't need. And okay, I'm glad I did that. There's definitely some stuff missing here. Where's the, yeah, this final sketch? If we're above his head this far and that shape, his shoulders should probably be coming back over here actually. This one would be okay, but that one needs to be here. And so he has dark hair, kind of a crew cut thing going on here. So you just see a pattern of the hair. Okay, maybe even over here a little bit. Scribble, scribble, sketch, sketch, and all that good stuff. And so this line needs to go. And I mean, it looks really, really good if you get hand drawn. See where the shade is. If you get a nice hand drawn ink work with a pen, and get yourself one of those. This kind of, I don't know what it's called. It's like a pen brush. It has the ink in it already. You know, if his neck goes up like that, his chin would come out like this, even over his shoulder. Kind of like that. And the light here, clean up a little bit. And we can do, just erase some of this hairline, or not, it's not really hairline, it's what do you call it? It's lighting. It's like hair lighting. Right, it comes in there. The light's not going to hit his whole head just perfectly. It's going to hit pieces here and there, just like, you know, each individual hair. So I just scratch away at it like this, and I'll kind of give that effect. So here would be, if it came out well, I don't know, you know, just okay. The guy, you know, from overhead. It's not too shabby. It's a little rough around the edges. The line here could be worked up and this and that. Instead of worrying about that because of time constraints here, I'm probably just going to go ahead and fill in a bit more shading here and there. This way I can see the shape. This and this. There's a temple coming down. This would go up and come back to his temple. Sort of. I like how that little bit of light is left right there. Leave some reflective light in the back with the eraser. This could be light coming over there. It's definitely a bit dark. That's what happens. Sometimes you get gradients in the shadows. And just turn it down a little bit. Yeah, that's good enough. Good enough for me. So what we did here is, you know, use the perspective box once again to sketch out where I think the features of the face should be for a dynamic angle, and then I used, you know, good old-fashioned tricks of lighting and shading. Light's over here, so it's going to light up a little bit. They're dark over here, and then there's some tricks like this and that with the lighting. But if I actually get some white in here, yeah, the reflective light usually comes over on the sides here. A little bit on the back and the side there. Things like that just happen in nature. Yep, that's good enough. Okay, so I mean, it's kind of a strange drawing. It's not like really moving and gripping because you know, what is it? It's like we're looking at a sleeping dude from above, and it's not even that good, quite honestly. I could have went to work on the lips and this and that. Let's have a look at this one. This one came out very flat. You know, it's not good, but it should have came back down. It almost, like when I see things like this, it tortures me. It makes me want to go in there and like, you know, fix it up a little. I can just tell afterwards that this. Why am I not drawing? Where's my drawing? This one. Yeah, this should come down here like this to make it less flat, and also maybe because of the chin, make it less flat. Things like that might help it out a little, bring out some more depth. Yeah, but it's definitely, this is just flat. I wouldn't, at the moment, I don't know exactly where to begin with that one. I need to get into eraser mode. I think also like this area here should be up. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it like that. And we had this one here. It was just real quick. Another dude. Just drew a dude. Looks like plastic. There's a lot more things I could do that to make it look more human. But the 3D form came out, and that was what we're focusing on. Just using, you know, lines and boxes and stuff to be able to draw heads from different angles and stuff. And there's nothing so professional, perfect. Where are those? Just want to get rid of these real quick. Huh? Is it on that layer? Yeah, there it is. Nothing super professional or perfect, but you get a little bit of 3D. Unfortunately, that one came out flat. This one came out okay. It's not very interesting, and you know, this as usual is pretty standard. So hope you guys had fun, and next time I'm going to go into full body, and you know, in addition to I think this is a good way to start to, like, you know, get in. Start off just focusing on heads. So the first thing ever might be drawing eyes, and then now I know how she died. She got run over. She got her face got run over by a truck. That's why she looks so flat. Um, okay, and so, you know, it's natural for a lot of people to start off drawing eyes, and then, you know, they get into facial features, and then you start doing heads, and I mean, you know, one step at a time. I think it's good to focus on the heads for a while with different angles, because this is what people look at when they look at a drawing first. They look for eyes. It's a natural human thing, and so you want your heads and your eyes to look good. And you know, if something like this, for example, if his body were drawn down here, you wouldn't stare at his body first. You would look at into his eyes first, and then you start working your way around from there. And that has a lot to do with, like, you know, his eyes have to do with the shape of the head too. An eye just floating in space doesn't make sense. So having a head floating in space seems to make sense. I don't know why, but we can get away with that. And then we'll move on to the bodies, the anatomy, proportions, stuff like that. Do that in the next few videos. Again, nothing too fancy, nothing too serious, just scribbling around and playing with light and shadow. See you next time. Hope you enjoyed. Take care.